What's up, dude?
Not much.
Been
What's
a
up
long
with
time.
you?
Oh, not much either. We saw Blair Witch.
True that.
Oh man, it's been a long time because we've been moving and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We got tickets to an advanced screening of it, and I was like, it's like, holy crap, the Blair Witch wants us to see this movie really bad.
Yeah.
And thank God for that, because I really enjoyed this movie. So we're going to be doing a caramel flavored popcorn review of the Blair Witch. Well, it's just Blair Witch, actually.
Yeah.
Directed by Adam Wingard. And if that name sounds familiar, it's because he directed parts of, in both VHS movies, The Guest and You're Next. All movies, which I love. Just all good stuff. And I knew, because of his experience with the VHS movies, I was interested in seeing what he was into with Blair Witch. I feel like they got the right guy for the job. Now, that being said, I was a little cautious going into this at first because I was super pumped. I'm like, Adam Wingard's directing a Blair Witch movie. I think this is quite possibly the best found footage movie since the original Blair Witch.
Really?
That's my opinion.
I mean, I don't know if I'd be willing to go that far.
Okay.
I had some things that I didn't like.
Well, I do too.
Okay.
I have like a couple things, I really do. And
So-
we'll get into that.
Okay.
We'll do the good, the bad, and the ugly, which actually we won't be doing any ugly things unless we're talking about the Blair Witch herself, because
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys right now, if you're one of those people who's like, I really liked how in the original on the first movie they didn't show the Blair Witch at all and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go ahead and tell you right now, they do show you what she looks like. So if you're one of those people who's like, hey, I'm not into that, then you're going to hate this movie.
They don't show you too much.
Mm-mm.
Because you say
You
that
see
they
it.
show
I mean,
her, but
If you see this movie and you pause it,
yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
then you're like, oh, well, there she is. That first movie irked a lot of people back in '99.
Yeah.
And my dad included. I saw the movie with my dad in theaters when I was it was '99, so I would have been 6 or 7. So I was 6. My dad didn't like it because he was like, well, what was that? There was nothing. And if you're one of those people who was like, there's nothing in that movie, then you're going to love this movie. Because this movie is like, it flips it. And that's the thing that Adam Wingard is so good at, is he's super good at flipping it. So this movie's going along and chugging along, and you think it's going to be just like the original Blair Witch, where you really don't get to see anything, but no. Because it gets to a point and they're like, yeah, we're going to show you some stuff. Because what they're trying to do with this movie is, I can tell Lionsgate is like, okay, well, we got the rights to this now, so we're going to make this a franchise and we're going to make sure we do it right. You know, there is a sequel to Blair Witch. I've never seen it. We watched a clip of it recently.
Right.
It has dude from Burn Notice in it.
Yeah.
And it's really fucking horrible.
It looked real bad.
Really bad. And this movie, yeah, it's exactly what you want it to be.
Right.
If you're a Blair Witch fan and you've been waiting for this movie, let me tell you that right now. Alright, so let's get into the good stuff about this movie. So one of my favorite things about the movie was that they have a legitimate reason to be going to these woods. It's not just one of those things like, this is a sequel, a straight sequel to the original.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, you think it picks up where the original left off.
Right.
And then it like pulls back, and the main character is related to the main character of the original, so he has a reason to go back. He's like, I think my sister might still be there.
Exactly.
After 17 years or however long it was. And I like that a lot, that they have a legitimate reason to get there. All the found footage stuff is not like in other found footage movies where you're like, oh, how do they have this equipment? How can they afford it? You just know that they can afford it. They don't even address it that much. They're just like, they have this stuff, deal with it, but we're moving on.
Yeah, which is similar to, in the first one, they have borrowed equipment from places.
It's pretty obvious to me that, with the exception of like a couple cameras and the drone that they use, which the drone was really cool. I like that they implemented that, because in '99 when Blair Witch came out, they were implementing current cameras, the current technology that they had to film the movie available to them. And so this movie uses the current footage that a film student would have available to them to make the movie. The other thing I like is this movie's legitimately frightening at times. So that's good. Because, in particularly that last 30 minutes, it's like a non-stop, like, just roller coaster ride. Like, I've never seen horror done this way. The way that they do it in this is very much like a video game.
Yeah.
But just one that you can't interact with.
Right, I hadn't really thought about that, but that
Yeah.
is exactly right.
And the thing that's great about that is, one thing that video games are so good at is it's immersing you into... That's why video games to me have been so much more scary than movies, is because it immerses you into it.
Yeah.
And I think this movie does a good job of immersing you into the... that terrifying place. And they even have a good reason for why the characters are in that situation in the first place.
Without telling you what's going on, in the last act of the movie, there's like a person crawling through a tunnel, I'll say.
Oh yeah.
And I was so frightened.
Don't do it! We were in the movie theater, and it wasn't even a super intense part of the movie.
No.
Just it was like loud noises were going, and like some scary stuff had happened, but it was like 10 minutes before stuff really starts getting scary. You know what I mean? And, you know, it's kind of a quieter moment. And then you just hear this... like, just this sobbing. I mean, sobbing. This man was sobbing. And I look over, and I can see this, like, bald guy. Like, he's, like, down a little bit in, like, the little corner area. And he's, like, doing this. And it's like in sync with the sobbing, and I'm like, oh my god, this grown man in this movie theater is crying because he's just so scared. And that's one of the things I love about seeing early screenings. I saw Evil Dead in an early screening, and we saw The Martian. The audience gets into it. I don't know if it's because we're getting in there for free or what.
Yeah.
But the audience gets into it.
You're right.
They really do. And another good thing about this movie is, it's so good for me that I had about 3 or 4 women, like they were obviously cougars, they flirted with us a little bit.
A little bit.
These 3 or 4 women were like chatty Cathys the whole time, just talking the entire movie almost. And this movie's so good it didn't even bother me. I didn't even care.
Yeah. Let this be our endorsement. In our screening, a grown man cried at this movie.
Yeah. A grown man burst into tears. So I want to talk more about the characters. So you got, I don't know their names other than Lisa, who's the chick who's filming the movie. She's great. I thought she was fantastic. I think she's going to be a more... I was looking on IMDb, this is one of her first movies. I think it's like her 3rd one. But yeah, she's great. I hope she's in a lot more stuff because I thought she was fantastic in this. Especially at the very, very end. They do like an homage to the original a little bit in one scene where it's like super close in her face and stuff. I thought she was super great. I actually thought the one who was the weakest actor out of all of them was the brother to the main character. I thought he was really good in the movie, but I thought he was the weakest actor because he was such a straight man and like he was always like, you know, blah blah blah. Like he was just... It's funny how the guy who had the motivation to be there was the least interesting.
Right, that is a little unfortunate. I've said this to you before that it bothers me when found footage movies don't feel believable. Like the acting is such a big part of it.
Yeah, it is.
And I would kind of agree with you that he sometimes he feels like he's acting.
I thought that the black guy was really good and his girlfriend was really good.
Yeah.
As far as acting goes. But then you have these 2 redneck hillbilly people who live in the town of Blair, or what is it? Burkittsville? Yeah, Burkittsville. And they're like big liars and stuff. It's kind of neat to see that movie. I love that. Let's talk about bad stuff now. The only bad thing I really have about this movie is this. That the black guy's girlfriend, the girl, I don't know her name. I feel like I should... I don't have my phone with me, so I can't look it up. But she's...
Research will get on that.
I mean, we can just pop it up on the screen. It's not a big deal. But it's funny because I think her acting was great and stuff. But I gotta admit, like, her character is just there for bad stuff to happen to.
Yeah.
The other characters are kind of there for, like, you know, important... I mean, all the characters are there for bad stuff to happen to them, obviously.
Yeah.
But hers in particular, it feels like she's just there for bad stuff to happen to, and she makes bad decisions as well.
Right.
Like, the first thing that she does is not her fault. Like, she gets, like, a cut on her foot.
Right.
Not her fault at all. Not a big deal. But everything after that is all her fault.
But even then, though, like... even then, so this isn't a spoiler. She cuts her foot and she has like a little cry about it, and I was like, come on.
Okay, well, you know what though, I was like that at first too until I saw the cut.
Yeah.
And then I was like, Jesus, that's really bad for that.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, man. She's never been out in the woods like this before.
I'm just thinking,
That's
like...
I mean, you're nitpicking.
No, come on. When you're watching a horror movie, you want the people to like face these challenges. So when she cuts her foot, I want her to be like, this is bad, but it's probably not that bad.
I got it.
And then it gets worse. Her name is Ashley. The character's name.
What's the actress's name?
Corbin Reed.
Corbin Reed. Okay. I'll never remember that.
Overall, the movie is good at having organic reasons for people to do what they're doing. But that one time. Because there's
so much shit going on.
Right, because there's a lot that goes on. I think there's a couple times that I felt like this is just happening for the next thing to happen.
Yeah.
And I didn't like that so much.
I'll disagree. Oh, the other thing I didn't like too much was the very end. Now, the very end is clearly an homage to the original film.
Yeah.
But I didn't like it as much as I thought I would. They should have... Like, it's funny, when you watch the movie, it's going to end at a part, and honestly, you're going to wish that they had continued a little more. So it is disappointing that they did that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean... But other than that, I love this movie.
Yeah, well, okay, I have another thing.
Okay. Shoot. Because I might agree with you, so go ahead.
Well, I felt like there's a lot of jump scares in this movie.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I agree.
So you know what I'm talking about.
I agree.
I'll tell you what happens is a lot of times...
a character will just pop up.
Right.
And it's like a false jump scare.
Yeah.
Because a real jump scare is like in the Conjuring films when there's always like a ghost or something bad that caused the jump scare. But a false jump scare is when like it's just a person.
Yeah, a person,
a normal person.
It happens multiple times.
Right.
And then they make a little joke about it.
Yeah, see, that's why I was okay with it.
Yeah, and well, it didn't fix it for me.
Well, I felt like Adam Wingard was going like, okay, we have to have these in here, but I'm gonna make fun of it because I think it's dumb that we have to do it.
Yeah, that makes sense. But there was actually one time that I thought was pretty bad.
Okay.
The girl, the redneck girl with the purple hair. Mm-hmm. There was one time that they go up to her with the camera, and she turns around and there's like a loud noise in the audio.
I thought it was because she had hit the camera or something.
Is that what it was?
I think so.
Well, even if that was the case, it was lame to me that like we're going up to the girl and then her turning around is the scary thing.
When was that? Because later on when they do jump scares, it's like legitimate like
right.
You have a reason to like jump and be scared.
Right. So to not to be redundant, but the end has a lot of good legitimate scares, but leading up to it there were a lot of false jump scares that for me were lame.
Because in the original they really don't have false jump scares. But you got anything else to add? No. Okay. Let's talk about some ugly stuff. The Blair Witch is super ugly in this movie, which is good. So, Also, that one guy who's like evil at the end is pretty ugly.
And he's pretty ugly.
Oh, he's not that ugly. He's a normal looking dude.
You're right.
I'm just being mean.
Yeah.
If he's ugly, then I'm ugly.
He's got an ugly soul.
Yeah, there we go. Cool, we talked about ugly stuff. So in conclusion, I think this movie is pretty amazing. I think it's genuinely terrifying at times. It has a great final 30 minutes. One of the characters bothers me. A couple of jump scares bother us both, really.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean the thing is, it's good. Like it's just in my opinion, this is a great movie. Some people will go see it and think it's just okay or good. Yeah. I think it's a near perfect movie, and it's exactly what the found footage genre needs, and it's exactly what the horror genre needs. It feels like a breath of fresh air, much like that original movie. I'm super happy I saw this. So anyway, I'm giving this movie 4.5 bags of caramel popcorn out of 5.
Gotcha.
I think it's phenomenal. Adam Wingard does a great job. All the actors are cool. Just go see this fucking movie. It's amazing. So.
Yeah. Okay. I think I've decided on my rating, and I don't want you to hate me.
You're fine.
I'm gonna go 3 bags of caramel
Wow.
popcorn out of 5.
All right, now I'm pissed.
I know, because I don't want you to think I didn't like it. I did like this movie, but
And somebody cried in the theater.
I know.
That's how good this was.
Well, yeah, that's true.
I mean, how many horror movies can you say someone cried?
Okay,
in the theater?
I knew you were gonna do this though.
Come on,
Look,
man.
it's good.
I think this is the best horror movie. I haven't seen Don't Breathe yet, but I think it's the best horror movie since the Evil Dead remake.
Well,
I really do.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean,
think it's
look,
just
okay,
intense and
this
fun
is,
and original and.
This is from a not horror aficionado
man.
person.
I don't care.
No.
It sucks.
No,
man.
3 is a positive score.
But most people don't think so.
You might be right.
No, it's fine. I want you to keep it. I want you to keep 3.
Okay.
You said 3. You're gonna keep 3. I don't want to change your mind just because I'm upset at you.
I really I thought it was a good movie, and what's keeping me from going higher was the fact that it does have some, like, it has jump scares, and it has some times where I felt like it was just kind of a mechanical plot.
Right. Okay.
I think that the first Blair Witch Project was a movie that, for me, like, transcended its genre to be like this totally unique thing.
Yeah, I agree.
And this one, it doesn't do that for me.
Well, because it can't though.
Yeah,
there's no possible way.
It's a sequel to the.
Because it would have to. That's like capturing lightning in a bottle.
You're
right.
right.
That's why the Ghostbusters reboot doesn't work.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't mean to say that, like, it's not great because it's not the original, because that would be a bad argument. But
yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying. It just doesn't transcend. I think it subverts. I don't think it yeah. I mean, it can't transcend. I don't think any found footage movie is ever gonna transcend the genre ever again.
Oh.
There's just no way.
Okay.
I mean, there's no possible way to do it. Blair Witch already did it because it was the first. Really.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. Cool.
I hope we can still be friends.
I mean, yeah, we're gonna be fine.